Welcome to the 176th episode of News Dump, where we run through the hottest topics in the Lewis County news scene and discuss. I'm local man Aaron Van Tile, joined by Chronicle executive editor Eric Schwartz, and we are also joined in spirit by sponsors Summit Funding, Shays Outfitters, and the Roof Doctor. We got a two-hander here.
We do, thanks to photographer Cody Kristen, who is supposed to be our number 3 today. He accepted our invitation and then backed out like 20 minutes later. Said he had to do his homework.
Well, he was tuckered out from that tough sports dump he did on Monday night.
That was a really good sports dump. If you haven't listened to the sports dump, you should go listen to it, especially the part about Cody Kristen getting into a fist fight with a referee. It was my favorite part of that podcast.
He was just came out swinging. You know, he's a well... I was going to say he's a proud boy, but...
You can't say that anymore. Can't say that anymore. He said he'll come on later, though, so I will keep most of my comments on Cody. But Cody is doing a wonderful job for us. He really is.
He is. I enjoy Cody's work quite a bit, and he's a fun presence in the office.
He went down to cover the smelt run for us in Castle Rock. I don't know if that's on the list of things to talk about.
It is not.
Well, he went down there last Thursday, and then he came up to Olympia and spent the entire day listening to leaders and finished it off with a photo with Governor Jay Inslee.
Yeah, he looked very happy in that photo, too. He was just
Jay Inslee did not look happy. He looked upset.
You know. He didn't look upset. He just looked like people had been taking their photo with me all day, and, you know.
It was newspaper legislative day. We go up there and meet everyone, and in Jay Inslee's case, you literally rub elbows because he didn't want to shake hands. He was still doing the elbow bump.
Interesting.
I mean...
And you took a whole crew up there, like everybody that wanted to go from the Chronicle staff was like...
Yeah, it's kind of like I guess it's like a lobbying day, I don't know, but you go up there in the morning and then you get to talk to, like, you know, the state patrol chief, the insurance commissioner was there, he graced us, he talked a little bit, and ends the day with some Supreme Court justices and Jay Inslee, and I think it's helpful for coverage. We got some stories out of it, and there'll be a story in Thursday's paper on it, but yeah, Chad and Coralie are very big about having a big presence. Much has been said about the reduction of the Olympia news force, so I think the Taylors deciding to send such a large contingent of Chronicle employees up there every year is fantastic. Yeah. 2 years in a row with the largest group there.
Yeah, that's good.
Take that, Seattle Times.
It must be nice. I don't know. I wasn't invited, so
I'll take any chance to hang out with Cody. So it was a good time.
Let's see. As far as preambles, we've got. I wanted to cover wrestling tidbits. We were chatting about this a little bit yesterday, and I would like you to rank these names that popped up on the Matt Classic 35 brackets. These are just the brackets I had a chance to look at over the weekend. But
to be clear, you're not making fun of the names. You just think the names are cool.
No, I was jealous of these names.
Yeah, they're good names.
So here, the first name, Apollo Crews. But that's pretty sick. Like Apollo Ono and, well, I don't want to say Ted Cruz.
No, it's a great name.
But yeah, cool name. YOLO Paz.
Yeah.
Hell of a name. P-A-Z. This one just inspired confidence. Brock Armstrong.
Oh, that's like a WWE character.
I was like, is that the like the antagonist from Vision Quest? What a strong name. I saw it pop up in the bracket, and I was like, sorry, buddy, you don't stand a chance against Brock Armstrong. And then Cash Short.
From Tumwater.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'll rank these right now. We'll go, it's got to be, I'm putting Cash Short up top.
Okay.
And that's because we shorted Cash Short by accidentally leaving him out of our coverage. I think Dylan, our sports reporter, is going to get it in there. But yeah, we apologize for that. Cash Short's just a sick name. I mean, it's got a lot of utility. Number 2, I'm going to put Apollo Crews because I once accosted Apollo Ono in a elevator in Los Angeles. True story. I'll tell you about it later.
Interesting.
No offense to YOLO, but Brock Armstrong. I mean, I'm with you. Like, you got to put him at number 3. YOLO in 4th, a strong 4th.
Brock Armstrong is the kind of name that if he were playing any C2BL sport and his name showed up on the list for a C2BL like all league voting, he would make first team on name alone.
Oh yeah,
strong name. Good for him.
While on the Matt Classic, we have to say thank you, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce her name, but Katia Hudson?
Katya,
there we go. Hudson and John Anders shot photos for us at the Tacoma Dome over the weekend, and they both just did a tremendous job. Like hundreds of photos.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff there.
You did the Lord's work in doing the cut lines and everything on Sunday morning and writing up our wrestling results, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And you claim you don't work here.
Barely. And then we have a little bit of reader mail. I like this one. Sent it to you the other day. This listener says, I have been listening to the podcast for almost a year now. I felt no need to reach out until the last episode. When suggesting which horror movie could take place in Tenino Parks, the best you could come up with is a, quote, Creature from the Black Lagoon riff. Cocaine Bear 2, Meth Tiger was sitting right there. Just disappointing.
Yeah, this writer is 100% correct.
I would have gone Cocaine Bear 2, Meth Beaver.
No, Meth Tiger. You got to stick with the tiger. There's a background to the tiger. Do you think Wayne and I were just riffing about the tiger for no reason?
Maybe. I don't know.
You don't know about the tiger that escaped in Tenino?
They used to have tigers in Napavine, too. I think they're around.
I remember that one. No, it was, you got to Google it. Just Google Tenino tiger, and it's a story. It's a fun thing about a tiger escaping from a rave and being found with a pacifier in its mouth. Why was the tiger?
Never mind.
It didn't actually happen, I don't think, Aaron. But the joke is you pretended it did. You try to spread that.
Okay.
Google it. It's worth a Google.
I'm not going to Google it.
It's worth a Google.
No. News items? Anything else you want to cover?
No, not off the top of my head. That email, though, came in at chroniclenewsdump@gmail.com. Is that right?
That is correct.
So
yeah, I'd love to see these.
You want to be in our reader mail, please send us your thoughts.
Thank you, Jordan, for reaching out. News items. First up, funding for United Learning Center in Centralia included in supplemental budget proposal. The budget had $2 million in it for the Learning Center. Peter Barno said the plan invests in K-12 school construction, mental health facilities, housing, and early learning facilities. If you threw flood control in there, you'd hit local legislator issues bingo. But when completed, the 12,800 square foot United Learning Center will be built on the corner of Maple and North Pearl Streets in Centralia. Since a ceremonial groundbreaking in June of 2021, however, the lot has sat vacant. And I take issue with that bit of reporting because we have had a couple very sexy tire piles over there, so not entirely vacant.
That's true. I should have added that when I was editing. That would have given people context if you told them that it was where the tire piles were at. They'd be like, oh, that's where it's at.
So this learning center, we sure it's real? Sure it's happening?
Yeah, no, I think it's absolutely happening. There's a lot of funding backed up for it.
What is it again?
The Early Learning Center?
Just like a learning center?
Yeah, it'll have like a, let's see, I'll just go straight to the source here. Here's how the United Way describes it. The United Learning Center will be comprised of a high-quality, affordable early learning program for working families, an after-school mentorship program, and summer engagement opportunities through Boys and Girls Club of Lewis County and the Discover Children's Museum. There's a bunch of groups involved. I know you're trying to drive here that it's like, vague what it is, but it really isn't. You've got the United Way involved, Boys and Girls Club of Lewis County. The Bezos Academy was signed on. Because of the delay in actually doing the project, I don't know where each one of those organizations is as far as their involvement. The Boys and Girls Club was really stressed in the news release from Peter Barno, though. So,
I don't know. It sounds like the kind of thing that we're gonna have to save with a bake sale here in a few years. Like we're in an '80s comedy.
Let's just be really cynical about really great things coming to Lewis County.
The great thing
sounds like a great idea.
The great thing that already came to that lot was a tire pile.
That's true.
It's a recurring event.
I've thought of that, and you can put the tire pile in the city lot behind the Chronicle. And it'll make it more exclusive because people won't get to see it. You'll have to turn off of Pearl in order to see the tire pile.
Well, part of the tire pile's beauty is it's so visible on your way to downtown.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I also like the exclusivity, though.
All right,
I'd like to see a tire pile that not everyone gets to see.
It's a VIP tire pile. Invite only.
But I thought that was great, and I think we're fortunate. We've been fortunate, I think, and I'm not bootlicking here, Aaron, but to have a Barno on the Appropriations Committee, I believe that's the committee. Or
you're wingtip licking. That's what you're doing.
It's nice. He did provide some of our journalists with a nice, not tour, but visit at the Capitol on Thursday as well. So, but a lot of the projects you see that get done out of these budgets are coming from a Barno.
Yeah. Like I'm sure once it's all said and done, this will be a great thing. It just seems a little bit like, like educational vaporware to me at this point. I would like to see something really happen.
I see it as opposite. I mean, look at these renderings. It's beautiful. I mean, I don't know where everybody's going to park for the roller drome and whatnot, but it looks good. Go to Cronline and take a look and learn that Aaron is full of it, and this is actually a very cool project.
First time. Next item. Semi-Bird wins straw poll at Lewis County Republican Caucus. There was like 100 people there. I think this was out in Onalaska. And Bird, who was speaking, got 63 votes in the old straw poll. He is running for governor of Washington as a Republican. And one of his quotes from this situation was, "Brothers and sisters, this is the 1776 moment right now in America. And I'm not a far-right radical. And the interesting thing is that I'm being called that by my mainstream Republicans, and not even the Democrats have started in on me yet. Sir, if you are calling this 1776, then you might just be a far-right radical. This is like a Democrat saying, I'm not a far-left liberal, but we need to nationalize all industry tomorrow or we die."
So you just equated the Democrats with socialists. I see what you did there.
Yes, that's what I was
Well,
going
you
for.
do that.
I believe I was comparing them with communists, actually.
I believe Bird's opponent, Dave Reichert, his Republican opponent, or I guess competitor, he was called a socialist by Lauren Culp on Twitter, which I just thought was wild. Like, I get criticisms and being in favor of Bird, but man, that's really going all in.
I'm sure Reichert was shocked to hear that he is a socialist.
Yeah, no, I appreciate Mitchell Rowland went out and covered this for us, and I thought he did a good job. Bird's a very quotable candidate. I liked the line, just for, entertainment value, we're going to make Washington State great again, and we're going to give Olympia the bird. That's
definitely not a far-right radical saying things like that.
It's a solid line. Yeah, I don't know.
The campaign hard in Lewis County strategy worked out pretty well for Culp, who was just hanging around parking lots for a few months back in 2020, breaking campaign finance rules by giving away copies of his own book, and half of that book was just the Constitution reprinted.
Oh, well, you're going to criticize him because his co-authors were the founders of this great nation?
Co-authors.
No, I'm not bagging on Culp either. He had some, I'd say he had a solid movement. I mean, he definitely instilled some excitement, but he did lose by 500,000 votes as well, which Brandy Cruz, the podcaster, pointed out on Twitter as they had a feud over the weekend. I was glued to my phone for a little bit there watching that feud.
Eric Roseanne, alumni update for the Chronicle. Eric Roseanne broke a pretty interesting semi-bird story over the weekend, which was touched on in Mitchell's story. Records show that, oh, damn it, it wants me to subscribe to the Tri-City Herald to read
Well,
this.
you should, because I used to work there, and it's a great publication.
Anyway, there's something about he got something with his service in the U.S. Army. I don't have the story in front of me.
We also ran it on Cronline. I'll give that a shot. But it was the whole story that Roseanne wrote revolved around a missing gun that he did not return after he left as a reserve for the sheriff's office. I want to say it was Benton County, but it could have been Yakima County. One of the counties over there on the east side. And it sounds like it was misplaced during a move maybe, but I guess it rose to the level of coverage at the point when he was actually served, like a warrant went out for him and a felony was issued. It was dismissed, but still, that's something that needs to come out in a gubernatorial race. If you were a cop and you lost your gun a couple of times, you should probably know about that.
We actually have a clip from the interview Rose did with him. Would you like to listen?
I've changed, kid, into a badass adult. I have a wolf dog, I have 2 bad knees, and a gun that I lost.
Great stuff by Roseanne there, reporting on that issue. We've also got breaking news. Let's see. Semi-Bird has just been endorsed by Chair of the House Committee on Misplacing Guns, Jeff Wilson. So that's good news.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
You got your shots in. Are you happy?
Well, not as many shots as Bird and Wilson got in. They would have gotten in if they wouldn't have misplaced their guns.
Come on. I know I messaged Roseanne and I told him that he did a really good job. I thought the story was comprehensive and fair, and he let Semi-Bird have, a say and explain himself and whatnot. But I think it was important journalism. People are going to say that, it's an attack on him because that's the nature of news readership these days. You can't ever just state the facts without somebody assigning a motive to it. I've worked with Roseanne. I can tell you the man has no motives. He's just writing about what he knows.
He's just trying to get by.
Yeah.
And he's good at it.
And he did good. We hope to lure Roseanne back here someday. I'm going to be completely honest. I told him that as well.
Speaking of presenting the news with no motives, Lewis County Auditor's Office announces ballots for presidential primary to be mailed Wednesday. Let the great steal begin. Ballots are out. And also, I realized in this picture, Larry Grove kind of looks like Larry David a little bit.
I don't know. There's like zero intrigue in the primary, right? Everybody already knows how it's going to play out.
Oh, that's just what you want the people to think.
I guess it's volatile. Things could change. I do wonder, like, if there will be people who claim that the primary was fixed after it's over, even though
there will be.
The people who won are exactly who everyone expected would win.
Well, I mean, you're going to come out and be like, actually, I voted for Nikki Haley.
Yeah, I guess that was a stupid question on my part because Culp did question the 500,000 vote loss and claimed that one was. I'm not mocking him. I'm just saying we've come to a pretty stupid place in this democracy when you lose by 500,000 votes and you're just like, it was rigged.
Yeah.
That would be so hard without getting caught. Can you imagine?
Yeah. I mean, geez, Semi-Bird can't even hide the fact that he lost a gun 30 years ago, and Culp thinks you could just steal an election like that?
I mean, not even the plot of Tommy Boy. Not Tommy Boy.
It was Black Sheep.
Black
and
Sheep,
it was
I'm
set
sorry.
in Washington.
It was set in Washington, but not even that movie had a 500,000 difference on the stolen election.
No.
It was a little more believable.
Next item, special election results don't change after updated counts. This is it was primarily school elections last Tuesday, right? The combined totals between Lewis and Thurston counties for the Centralia School District Replacement Levy show the measure passed with 55.81% for and 44.19% against. That's pretty good news.
Happy to see it. Yeah, I was happy to see it.
And they had higher percentage than Chehalis.
They did.
Interesting.
You said it out loud. Everybody's been whispering that all. Like, who does have the better school system? One might ask after that.
Yeah, well, the voters have spoken.
Vote. Yeah.
Between this and the Salvation Army throw money in a can off. Mm-hmm. I think it's a pretty decisive victory over here.
Yeah, we did the last podcast before the vote, so it should have been a news item on here. But yeah, after a double levy failure, it passes. Had our new photographer, Ridley Hudson, went down to the Juice Box in downtown Centralia, and where supporters of the levy were gathering. It was nice to see those photos. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm pro or anti, but I do have kids in Centralia, so I thought it was a nice boost to the district, and I'm sure we'll get to it, but we had a couple letters to the editor celebrating it as well.
Yeah, we did. And then our final news item before I turn it over to you for anything I missed. Centralia raises rates in downtown parking lot for the first time since 1989 purchase. This is the lot on the 100 block of Tower Avenue.
It's called the Mural Lot because it has murals.
Yeah. Centralia Finance Director Brett Broderson reported on the seemingly sharp rate increase. He said in March of 1989, the city purchased the mural parking lot. There are 17 stalls in this parking lot that have been leased by the city to various residents and business owners in the downtown area since that time. When we acquired the lot, rent was $12 a month, and it has not changed since we acquired the lot. Anyway, they got to looking and realized there was some confusing rules about who could park in the lot and when, and things like that. Yeah, I don't like this is one of those like small town local stories. It's kind of funny just because I don't know, like everybody's upset about it.
Yeah, no, this isn't getting reported on. I mean, 99 out of 100 towns does not have the extra manpower in the newsroom to report on the parking lot rate increase. But reporter Owen Sexton said it had come up several times at council meetings, and when something's a persistent issue, we feel like we should at least throw out a small brief to say that this is a thing that happened.
Yeah, it kind of looks like everyone just forgot about the parking lot until some people started complaining about its condition, which just goes to show if you've got a $12 a month parking spot in downtown, maybe just shut up about it.
Yeah, you probably should have kept that a little closer to the chest.
Yeah, how's that extra $23 a month sitting with you?
It reminds me of when I moved to Centralia at like 17, and the apartment that I was renting had cable was already working, and then there's some sort of issue with the cable, so a roommate called and was like, "Hey, this isn't working," and they were like, "Hey, you don't have cable," and they cut it off. So,
well,
let that be a lesson to you.
Yeah. Anything? Well, before we get into that, how's your roof, man?
My roof?
Yeah.
It's in solid condition, I think, but you can never know. I'm not a roof doctor.
Is it under the weather?
Yeah, always, perpetually.
Well, then you should call the roof doctor, man. The roof doctor in Shays awaits your house call. And you know what? If you call them up, they come out, hang out with you a little bit, shoot the bull, take a look at your roof, say hi to your kids, probably give them like a lollipop or something, give you an estimate on what it'd take to make your roof perfect. No charge.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Since the roof doctor has done the job on your rental, do you find yourself just standing outside and like just enjoying a good look at it?
Well, yeah, especially like I'm working on painting it. And so I stand out there and I look at the roof and I'm like, damn, that roof looks nice. Shit, I missed a spot. Yeah. So it's like it's It's a blessing and a curse that the roof doctor blessed me with a beautiful roof, and now it allows me to not focus on where the roof might be looking, but instead to focus on my own work.
Does it make you feel better that you'll likely be dead before you need a new roof?
Well, it's a 30-year roof, so yes.
Yeah, I said what I said. I said what I said.
It does, yes. I can die knowing I will. Well, I will die knowing I will never need another roof, but I will die sad that, maybe I don't get to call the roof doctor again.
That's true.
But if you need to call the roof doctor for, reasons of maintenance or maybe just existentialism like we've done here, give them a call at 360-800-4755 or locally 360-736-0246. They've got an office over on Bishop Road. Stop in, say hi, schedule an appointment. All right, what did I miss in the news roundup?
Oh, you missed a lot.
I'm sure.
But I don't have a comprehensive list of it, so I'll just work my way through. One fun one I thought, at least I thought it was fun, a commenter did not think it was fun, is State Rep, 19th District State Rep, spitting all
Joel
over myself here.
McIntyre?
Yeah, Joel McIntyre is being called for duty. He's a reservist with the U.S. Marine Corps, and in his place will come his stepdaughter, will be a temporary lawmaker. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of cool. We saw John Braun's wife stepped in for him a few years back.
Yeah, I remember that.
If you get called into duty, you got to have a replacement. The commissioners from each county have to approve it, so I think the Lewis County commissioners approved it today. I just wanted to use it as an opportunity to offer my services should any of the 20th District lawmakers ever need to take a few days off. I would love to step in and fill that role for them.
I'm sure you would be their first call to go
I would
up there.
come with fistfuls of legislation, let me tell you.
And another bill.
Podcast subsidies, that would be the first.
We don't look for handouts on this podcast.
I do, if they want to do it. I know the state
Communist.
gives out all sorts of money. So.
What
you got your tuna check, your fish check. I didn't get one. It's not right.
Oh, maybe you should have bought some chicken, man. I don't know what to tell you.
They don't know that you bought the chicken, though. That's the thing.
Maybe they just know how hard up for cash I am.
That must have been what it was.
Yeah. What else have we missed? Speaking of checks, I believe you have a story that's the most popular on Cronline.com today.
Oh, yeah.
You were just going on and on about it.
I wasn't going on and on about it. I just
ranting and raving.
Well, we run a lot of regional news, mostly local. I'd say, 75% local, but we supplement that. And for some reason, and it's even gone more crazy since I told you about it, by far the most read story on Cronline over the last 24 hours, and it's 10 times more read than any stories. Washington Attorney General charges seafood wholesaler with felonies over failure to report purchases. People were very upset. The lead on that one, and this is a News Tribune story, Tacoma wholesale fish dealer Westlake Seafood has been charged with multiple felonies for allegedly failing to report thousands of dollars worth of sea urchin and Dungeness crab purchases to the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Well, they should have reported that.
Yeah. I just don't know why it's such a popular story.
People like their crab, man.
I guess so, and they like it off the books. Crab tastes better when it's off the books.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Did you gnaw on that crab leg over there?
That's not how you eat crab.
No, that's not how you eat crab.
What? Anything else that we should cover?
There's plenty of other stuff on there. I did want to give a personal congratulations, not that it would mean anything to the person, but Antonio Campos. I know you talked about it on the sports dump, but
we did.
Centralia passed a levy and had a state champion wrestler in the same week. Big week for Centralia.
Yeah.
Coming up all
Great
Centralia
stuff.
this week. I like that a lot. And I was surprised that he was our only local state champion. There, we also had one in the Willapa Valley, but we don't actually cover that area.
Tyson Portman from Valley won the 1B, 2B title, I think 165.
I feel like we probably should have
was.
covered him a little more. I don't know. He seems like he's pretty close to that.
That line,
yeah, I think
that
he was in
line.
Schwingfest. I searched his name on Cronline, and he was there. So
It's a Schwinger. We cover out to Francis for Schwingfest. Yeah,
Facebook and Instagram followers liked him a lot.
you get to LaBam though, and
Yeah, we don't go past LaBam. We can't. I'd like to though.
Yeah,
I'd like
maybe
to
someday.
And grab that area up. I don't know. Other than that, we can do an end of the show wrap, and I can move through some news items.
All right. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Jeff and Julie from Fairway Lanes.
Jeff and I met Jasek of Summit Funding at our bowling center, so when we fell in love with this community and it was time to relocate, we knew we would be calling Summit Funding.
They understand that everyone has a unique situation when buying a home.
He had already helped 2 of our employees get into their own homes. The Summit Funding team exceeded our expectations. It was a seamless experience with great communication from his whole team.
Thank you to Summit Funding for making our buying experience special and memorable.
All right, we're back. It's time for segments, and first up is Tales from the Takes page. And leading that off, we've got Brian Mitke with a column titled Taking a Big Step Towards Healthier Lives and Communities. And he is back to talking about blue zones. And the advice that goes along with them is pretty groundbreaking. Take a walk, eat some vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They keep saying it. I'm going to keep being me. No one's going to change me.
No, you'll take a walk, but those vegetables,
YOLO,
stay
man.
the hell away.
YOLO.
Yeah, I don't know. It's good advice. It's good stuff. I'm trying to do more walking and eating of vegetables, so yeah.
I still haven't completely wrapped my head around the blue zones effort. I get it, but at the same time, I don't know how many people it's going to sway.
Yeah. I guess like simplifying the whole thing into just walking and eating vegetables is good, but calling it a blue zone maybe helps. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Next item from Senator John Braun. Democrats are wrong to use children as defensive income tax. Yeah, I also find it offensive that a political party would defend their legislative agenda with an emotional ploy like saving the children. Who would do such a thing?
Not surprised at all, but yeah, I mean, I get what he's saying. You create this large pool of money and you know, but it seemed like a volatile. I think that was his point, is like a volatile funding source, and you put it into something that shouldn't be reliant on a volatile funding source, and then blame the voters for not liking it.
This is about the capital gains tax, right?
Yeah, correct.
And just to be clear, the number of people in Lewis County that tax impacts
8
would not only fit into this well-appointed studio, but would have adequate seating.
Yeah, but I don't think that necessarily changes it for me, because I think that we've talked about this before. But I also wondered, the best examples, Jeff Bezos has got the hell out of Washington as soon as this thing kicked in. Like, I mean, I think at a certain level you're going to lose some of your tax base just by doing this. But I don't know. I don't have a feeling one way or the other, because this is going to shock you, Aaron. I'm not one of the 8 people in Lewis and Skamania County affected by this tax. Very well compensated by the Taylors, but not that well compensated.
Oh, an email. Yeah, nor am I. Next item, letter to the editor, gaslighting, M-, fact or fiction. This letter claims another letter accusing Donald Trump of gaslighting is, in fact, gaslighting.
And you noticed that as well.
I'm not sure the writer knows what gaslighting is. That term is kind of like Riz for boomers.
That's pretty good. No, I was enjoying the fact that both would probably say that the other was gaslighting them over the topic of gaslighting. It was very meta.
Yeah, it was good, but not as good as letter to the editor. More on the not so smart meters. Take a billion seats PUD, because you're about to get put in your place by this letter writer, who says they are in fact quite bad. She mentions a video she saw on Rumble, which is basically the XFL of video streaming platforms. A quote from her letter: documented health impacts from the smart, in parentheses, and quotes, enhanced meters include cancer, headaches, sleep disturbances, Parkinson's, migraines, nausea, vomiting, muscle spasms, heart palpitations, dizziness, memory problems, cognitive disturbances, flu-like symptoms, worsening of existing health problems, abrupt depression, agitation, hearing problems, and malfunctioning of medical equipment such as pacemakers and wireless insulin pumps. You could cure most of these maladies with a trip to the blue zone that Bitke's always talking about.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And the rest of them are just like, maybe you're just old and smoke cigarettes inside 24 hours a day.
I don't know. I'm gonna slot this in that hydrogen area where I can't speak in an educated fashion about this. I did dive down the rabbit hole to try to figure out where these people are coming from, because I've had a few letters to the editor like this, and the others didn't. The others made claims that you could either disprove or you couldn't prove, and I just had trouble with them. So they've kind of lingered in our unedited letters folder. Got a couple more that'll probably run too. But yeah, a large group of people did come out to the PUD. From what I can find from reputable sources online, it seems to be a bit overstated in terms of the dangers. I've seen it quoted, don't know if it's true, just to double down on that point, that your cell phone puts off a lot more radiation than those meters do. I included that in an editor's note, which only provoked more letters. So I don't know. I wouldn't be worried if they came and put one on my house. I guess I'd put it that way. But I don't want to negate the concerns of what seems to be a group of people.
You and I are both big sit around in our downtime with a laptop on our laps doing like, passive work essentially. Look, like if that hasn't killed us in the radiation between like the Wi-Fi coming out of the computer or going into the computer and the warm battery on our lap, like we have both managed to reproduce
so far. Yeah.
Like I don't think the PUD, also putting like a little box outside that has a signal is going to kill anything.
You know, I have to be truthful here. I still don't think we're out of the woods on the cell phone radiation yet. Like, there are studies. Like, recently, I read there was government funded studies that were just shut down, like mid study, and we're like, we're just not going to do this anymore. But Europe's like concerned about it. Like, there's certain phones that have been revoked, and you can't sell them because they're putting off too much. I don't know. We don't know. We're the first. Like, I didn't have a cell phone until 2004.
I guess like
it's only been 20 years. We don't know what it's going to do.
It's an interesting question, but at this point, like they're so like far around us and they're so,
ubiquitous.
Yeah, they're so ubiquitous. Good word.
Thank you.
Nice work.
Thank you.
That like what even if you throw your phone into a lake, like there's 15 of them just around you at all times.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I'm not like, it doesn't like keep me up at night. It's just as a point of fact, I'm not like quite convinced that the Chronicle editor in 2075 isn't going to be writing about some, problems with this.
Well, if you want to avoid all
I'll be
this,
alive then, to be clear. I'll just be retired at
sure.
that time. I will be 90.
If you want to avoid all of this, what you can do is just pack up your things, store your cell phone away, cut power, and move into the middle of the woods with maybe a tent, some camping supplies. And where would you get those?
You would have to gear up for that, and there's no other place to gear up for a camping excursion. Clam dig. Maybe you're going to have to hunt for game.
They got some sick boots over at this place you're talking about,
They
too.
do. They've got guns. You're going to want to head on over to Shays Outfitters in Shays. Wonderful business, wonderful establishment. I believe I've called it a destination. It really is. If you're from a surrounding area, you should visit. It's one of those. People go to like Cabela's because they want to like look at the fish.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. You want to go to Shays Outfitters and see what they have. It's changing all the time. I can also say that if you pick up a Thursday copy of the Chronicle, you're going to see all their deals. They've
got some deals.
4 full-page ads. In the Thursday edition. If you can't wait that long, you need to go follow them on Facebook. Check them out there. They've got a website as well. And then this weekend, something that I think is pretty cool, Shays Outfitters is partnering with Red Rose Animal Rescue from noon to 3 p.m. this Saturday. And they're going to have an animal adoption event. They posted a photo today, and man, there's a cat named Trouble, a little tuxedo kitty. There's a dog named Aphrodite, which I think is an excellent name for a dog.
Well, it is February after all.
Yeah, we got a gunner. There's a Turk. These dogs are just adorable. There's a cat named Harmony, and there's a German Shepherd here. Doesn't have a name. That's up to you.
Not yet.
Come pick up that dog. But yeah, noon to 3 p.m. And then just, peruse around the store probably before you grab your animal that you're going to choose.
Shays Outfitters, check them out online, candboutfitters.com. That's all one word. Or you can give them a call at their Shays location, 360-200-5099. They are, I don't know what the actual address is, but you know where they are. They're across from Staples, just down from the...
Oh, you're on National Avenue.
Yeah, right across from the McDonald's there.
I go to that McDonald's. I always look at Shays Outfitters like, what a great store.
Yeah, as you're sitting in the parking lot eating 3 Big Macs and...
Oh, no. Just one hot and spicy McChicken and a McDouble, watching my figure. McDonald's is not a sponsor. Why are we talking about them? Also, Shays Outfitters is special to me among our sponsors. I love all 3 of our sponsors, but it's the only one I've used. Summit Funding, I haven't personally used them yet, but I can truthfully tell you, Shays Outfitters is just a great business.
Yeah.
And they support the community.
Yeah, Ty and I were in there this weekend, picked up some things, checked out those boots. I was like, man.
I don't think there's a more fun store. We're out of the advertisement now. Now we're just talking about Shays Outfitters.
Yeah, it is cool. Although I didn't see the popcorn.
Oh, didn't see the popcorn.
Wow. Bring the popcorn back.
I don't know why I had to bring that up. This is an advertisement.
As a child, going there was always a big deal. Like, get some popcorn,
What's cooler, going to Sunbirds and getting popcorn, or going to Shays Outfitters and getting a puppy?
Well,
because that's the difference.
Yeah, that's right. It's better now. Oh boy, it's time for Sirens Banger of the Week. And
I apologize in advance because, man.
Sirens, a false report that a penis was cut off was the result of hallucination from drugs, comma.
What was that?
Police discover. My YouTube was auto-playing some other
I
stuff,
see.
sorry.
I see. Go ahead and read it again. False report that a penis was cut off was a result of hallucination from drugs. Police discover.
And so the actual item, on Saturday, officers aided CPS and aid units in responding to, quote, to a report that someone had their penis cut off on Chestnut Street. Upon arrival, it was found that the subject was hallucinating after using fentanyl and his penis was still intact. According to the Centralia Police Department's no notes, perfect entry. This was a record-setting Sirens Banger of the Week, in that I think the police log came in, and within seconds you had seen it, jotted it down, and messaged me that it needed to be Sirens Banger of the Week.
You know what? It's actually false because Emily Fitzgerald, our assistant editor, types up sirens for us for every edition, does a wonderful job. She writes so cleanly that I'll usually just move the copy onto the page and let our copy editors look at it. So I didn't see that gem until I was posting online hours later. But first of all, really happy that that the gentleman still has his genitalia. I can't imagine the relief once the first responders showed up and informed him. My imagination is just like, do you think he was just elated? Like, just like, oh, thank God.
Probably. Well, the good news is you haven't joined the ranks of the dickless. The bad news is we're going to be arresting you, sir.
I mean, I feel so basic and immature for how much I laughed about that story, because I would just think of it yesterday and chuckle like hours after the fact, just like thinking of a different aspect of it, like the officers getting the call. My God, like, where did we get there? Just each step of the way.
Look, we are both still children in many ways, and the fact you see a headline like this and you do just go like, oh boy, like this is...
I mean, I think I messaged this to you, but if a common result of taking fentanyl was that the user thought that his genitalia had been mutilated, I think less people would do fentanyl. So maybe this is the beginning of the end in that regard.
Yeah, I haven't experienced either, thankfully, but I'm sure that's a good, let's just move on.
Yeah,
shall we?
I just want to say I'm not proud of the juvenile way in which I've absorbed the story, but I think most readers did the same thing based on the results, and it being one of our most read entries on Cronline.com over the last 24 hours. Nowhere close to the seafood wholesaler being charged by Bob Ferguson, but still, it's there. It's in the talk.
People's Champion of the Week. I've got a cross-country coach and volunteer firefighter who competes Olympic trials in the marathon. Looks like a typo in the headline there.
Could be.
Competed in the Olympic trials in the marathon. This is Roman Kirkov. He ran at Concordia. He took a break, then got back into it, and it has been going well. He was 50th in the U.S. Olympic trials in the marathon. He ran the race in Orlando earlier this year in 2 hours, 19 minutes. He didn't qualify for the 2024 Olympics, but still, that's pretty good. That's pretty fast.
Yeah, I thought it was a good story. A quick hitter. It's nothing. It's not a deep dive or anything, but I thought it was a good job. Mitchell wrote that up for us. I'm still gonna have to stick with Antonio Campos. He's won a state championship in wrestling. He was the Community First Auto Center's Athlete of the Week, and I think we would be remiss not to make him the People's Champion of the Week. The trifecta that all kids strive for in the Chronicles coverage area.
He brought glory. He's going to show up here tomorrow and be like, "Where's my sweatshirt?"
I'd love to have him on the podcast just for a quick interview. Yeah, if anyone in his orbit actually listened to this thing, ask him about it. It'd be fun.
Let's see. Facebook comments of the week, or do you have any other People's Champion nominees?
No, that's it.
Let's see. On the story about Semi-Bird and the gun that he lost, this commenter says, "Let the smear tactics begin. The Republican Party has a serious candidate, and they are nervous. They will do whatever they can to win. 3 a.m. ballot deliveries." The Republican Party does kind of have a serious candidate, but I feel like this commenter may not be able to pick him out of a crowd.
The lineup might be difficult, I guess. I don't know. I'm not Not an analyst there. I do think it's always lazy to just claim election interference or election fraud before the election has even been held. I think it's lazy in general. And I don't know, on the record as saying is if you as a party, as part of your platform is just that the elections are fraudulent, you're not going to win many elections. Like, it's just, I don't really get the motivation there, especially in light of court case after court case after court case after court case.
Come up with some policies, for God's
sake. Or
sake.
get a win in the fraud category. I mean, I don't mean to be, this isn't partisan. You know me as a bit of a conservative in my early days. But, show me something. Like, we've had a few charged in Lewis County for election fraud, and I can tell you they were not voting Democrat.
Are you sure?
I mean,
crisis actors
based on the
evidence
of their social media outlets, they were for the other side. But I don't hear, anyways. I don't want to get on a soapbox there, but lazy. Do better, commenters.
See, I mean, we're on a podcast. It's literally a digital soapbox.
That's true.
On a Sirens item about a man masturbating in public, this commenter says, Klecker tried to grab police gun last time he had his junk out 6 months ago. Same thing, and he fought police, yet he's out roaming around.
Sounds
Good
like
comment.
a repeat offender.
It does.
What do you think the statistical chances are that this gentleman is the same one who called the police over his missing penis?
Well, there was also a ton of comments.
It's literally impossible for me to reoffend officers.
Jesus Christ. We also had a ton of comments on the wrestling posts. Nice work, Chronicle social media crew, whoever you may be. Mm-hmm. Solid work there. What's coming up in the next edition? I guess the paper came out today. Anything we missed that was actually in today's paper?
Oh, man. Paper did come out today, but we will be putting out another paper tomorrow, lest you forget. I don't know, a fun item I found. It's not actually produced by us, but the Oregonian has yet another D.B. Cooper story, and I think that without debate, the Oregonian owns the D.B. Cooper story. Every twist.
Where do you think he landed?
Every twist they're there. This one is Richard McCoy, long been a suspect, but his son has come out and said he's got like this parachute and that he's found. Richard McCoy's dead, but his son says 100% his dad is D.B. Cooper. And I'm not, there's people that are so deep into this that anything I had to say would be super boring. But I found it interesting that like on April 7th, 1972, a short time after the D.B. Cooper incident, he wielded a hand grenade and a pistol and directed a United Airlines flight to land in San Francisco, demanded $500,000 and 4 parachutes, which is pretty much the exact MO of D.B. Cooper. Like a short time later, he did this. The FBI...
Did nobody connect things back then?
Well, no, he's been a suspect. Like he's a known name. A lot of people think he did it. He escaped jail for this and was killed in a gunfight with police. He was ruled out by the FBI because he said he didn't look enough like what the two people in the flight attendant said he looked like. But my God, man, he did the exact same crime, like again, is what I'm thinking. I don't know. Doesn't mean it's him. But yeah, I don't know. The Oregonian was writing this up because there was a tabloid that wrote the original story that the son came out and said he did it, that the FBI has brought this back to the forefront. But I don't know. Nothing official yet. As anyone knows who has read about D.B. Cooper, everything could change at any time. It'd be cool if they solved that one, though. I'd enjoy that.
It'd be cool if he was still alive. Like somebody just came out and was like, it was me all along. Like Bill Moeller.
Yeah, it's true.
He's like, I was actually D.B. Cooper.
The greatest
His last
documentary
column.
about D.B. Cooper, by the way, as you know, is Without a Paddle, the Seth Green
Fantastic
pick.
movie.
Good movie.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that one. We also had, Owen wrote this up just based on what was available, but at White Pass Ski Area is celebrating the 40th anniversary of a pair of twin brothers.
Mars?
Yeah, who won gold and silver at the 1984 Sarajevo Winter Olympics. They're going to be out there at the ski area this weekend, and there's going to be a slalom setup where you can go. So we are definitely sending someone to cover this. There's some competition because everybody wants to go cover this, but it'll either be Owen or Ridley, and I think it'll be fun. Lots of other stuff coming up at the White Pass Ski Area, too. They got their Winter Carnival coming up. We're going to be up there quite a bit over on the eastern edge of the coverage area.
Hell yeah. Love White Pass.
But yeah, no, that's the long and short of it. Lots of other good stuff, though, as usual.
All right. We're going to close it out there. We are sponsored by Summit Funding, Shays Outfitters, and The Roof Dock. Leave a review and rating on Apple Podcasts if you want, or send us an email at...
We're close with them, so we can call them the Roof Doc. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, we're tight.
Got to finish it off for them.
Or send us an email at... what is it? Chronicle News Dump. I closed my email.
Yes, Chronicle News Dump at Gmail. Let me just make sure. I believe it's Chronicle.
It's Chronicle News Dump at gmail.com.
Yeah, Chronicle News Dump at gmail.com.
Send us the email about anything. I'll probably respond. I don't have a lot going on.
If you send a message, you get half off the next episode.
Yeah, that's true. And you get half off at Summit Funding, Shays Outfitters, and the Roof Doctor.
Yeah, I'm going to say this because, like, the Taylors are my perfect safety net in that they let me do things. I'm going to say the first 5 people to email chroniclenewsdump at gmail.com get a free subscription to the Chronicle.
Yeah, that's sick. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
I hope I don't get in trouble for that.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. You know what? Chad will have a a
it's like a $10,000 value combined.
As he's handing you a cardboard box and walking to your car. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you next week.